How many of y'all have traveled in the last 12 months? How many of you been to a convention or a meeting or something like that? Hold your hand up. Sports event, raise your hand up. Okay, how many of you did that, came back home while your spouse or your friends or whoever took care of your family and said to them, I had a great time when I was there. We need to go back as a family, right? That's one of the great things about meetings and what my team gets to do. We get to sell this destination for meetings, conventions, tour groups, all types of groups that come to the destination. Last year, my team, and I know I have a few people here, a lot of them are on the road. Sandy Haynes is here with a mere, 32 years, is it, Sandy? Almost 32 years with the CVB. Yeah, that's amazing. Sandy, there weren't even cars when you started, I think, right? Motor coaches were a whole different thing then, right? Thank you for your service. Back in the corner, we have Lisa Parisi, who was introduced earlier. She's going to be a party of two soon. She's expecting, but she is still hanging in there. And Cindy Moore is trying to tuck her head back here, so I want to introduce her, but she's here with the team. The rest of them are on the road or out this week, but they work really hard. 898 group leads they produced for the destination last year, and that resulted in almost 300,000 room nights in definite business for the destination. And that's really important because what that does for our lodging partners is it creates that base of business that you can then drive rate on with your leisure business for the rest. It gives you that ability to know, I've got some business coming in, and now I can play around with those rates and drive that revenue. And I have not talked to a property that has not said that driving revenue is not important, right? I hear it, I hear your pain. But groups are important to the destination, and it's something that our team works very hard to do. We attend over 50 trade shows a year. So if you take out weeks like Christmas and Thanksgiving, that means I've got someone on the road at least every week of the year. Sometimes I've got everybody on the road and there's just one person back in the office. So we do stay very, very busy doing all types of segments, and we want you as our partners to join us. I know that with the pandemic, a lot of you guys had to cut those shows out, but if you're interested in participating, attending some of these shows with us, please let us know. We would love to have you participate. Sandy had me locked in an office yesterday as we started planning for the American Bus Association, and she is not an easy negotiator, so we're going to have a great ABA next year, right? FAM tours are known as familiarization tours, and we cannot do those without your help and your support. We had one in last week that went to a couple of our different theaters. They went to our restaurants. They stayed in our hotels. They visited our attractions. This is our chance to bring people in, show them this amazing destination that we live in and we love, and let them understand why they need to bring groups here. I have not had one person in almost 5 years tell me that after visiting, they didn't think they were going to be bringing groups back to our destination. So this is a critical part of what we do. We also bring individuals and groups in to take a look for conventions and meetings to do what we call a site inspection. Same thing, just a smaller group. We did 41 site inspections last year and 6 familiarization tours, and we've got a lot more happening this year as well. And then thanks to our marketing team, I have to give credit to Stuart, Diane, and all the team there. When Stuart came on board, he sat down with us and asked us what was working well with advertising, what we wanted to see and what we wanted to do. And I think we probably drive the team at MMGY a little bit nuts too, because they come back to us with some great ads and we're like, yeah, but Sandy's people, they aren't that way. They're looking for this kind of thing. So I wanted to publicly thank the MMGY team for your patience, for not tripping me when I tried to stand up just now, and for all your hard work to give us a really great campaign this year. This gives you an example of some of the creative that we did. What I like about this is, often we see destinations that do ads that show people doing what we're doing right here, sitting in a meeting room. And if I took a picture of this, other than the amazing Clemson hats, thank you very much, Ryan, we appreciate that, it could be anywhere in our country. So with the advertising campaign that they did, they wanted to show that when you bring a group to Myrtle Beach, there's so much more that you can do here. And it kind of plays off the business meeting, because we know it is serious business, it is important business, but you can do so much more here. And every day we hear about things called sportcations, bizcations. Often when they're coming in, it's not just for the meeting. They add a weekend in, or they'll add even a week, or they'll come back some other time, as I mentioned earlier. One of the exciting events we told you about a couple years ago that we were working on, we did a study to try to figure out what esports was about. And to be honest with you, I had this idea that we were going to build this new stadium, and it was going to have all this electronic gear, and people were going to come in, there'd be laser shooting all over the place and what have you. And luckily, people suggested we do a study and someone come in and kind of really say where we fit into the esports model as a destination. And one of those areas that they suggested was with collegiate competitive esports events. So we pulled off our first esport event. It actually happened in 23. We did the study in 22. It was held at the Hangout. That was not Bob's idea or image as to where we would do an esports event. But I want to tell you, it worked out really, really well. They did a terrific job hosting it. The teams from the colleges that were there had a great time. It was an excellent event and really quite fun to watch. I will admit I didn't know what the heck they were doing. I just saw a lot of cars flipping upside down on the screen and people cheering. But they'll come back, I promise you. We're going to do more of those. Sports tourism, Jonathan and Taylor are actually at a big sports convention this week. They then leave next week to go look at a NCAA track tournament, one that will be hosted in 2024, so they can see the kind of things that we need to be prepared for that. But sports tourism continues to be a big driver for us. In the group market, that was $154 million in direct spending, $14.1 million in estimated tax revenue as a result of that. But again, you've heard us talk a lot today about how it takes a village. We at the CVB don't have a sports facility, okay? We have lots of big hotels we can use, but we really work with our partnerships with the City of Myrtle Beach Parks and Recreation Department, Horry County, Coastal Carolina University, the Ripken folks. I mean, it truly does take a village, and as a result of that, we bring in lots of tournaments, lots of teams that give us revenue, not just during the summer months, but guess what? Most of our group business is during the fall and during the winter months, and that helps us be more of a year-round destination. And so by the numbers, just kind of giving you some of the highlights, 850 group leads is what we're looking for this year, 390,000 lead room nights, 280,000 definite room nights. Those are contracted rooms we're going to do this year. My team's favorite thing in the world, and Cindy, please don't fall out of your chair, but are called prospect calls. That's kind of like a cold call, but on the phone. But we do research ones, 2,200 prospect calls that the team does to reach out to people that we've not talked to try to see if we can get them to consider bringing business to Myrtle Beach and what potential that brings. 51 trade shows, as I mentioned earlier, 6 FAM tours, and 38 site inspections. So stay tight, keep your seatbelt on. It's going to be a busy but a great year together. All right, they told me to keep it short, sweet. I will. I'll turn it back over to the amazing Diane Charno.